Hey guys, what's going on? Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency video, and let's get into the news regarding Ripple XRP. So to start things off, Mr. Alex Cobb, he is a young guy, but he has seriously been, a huge foundation right here. XRP, you amaze me, even just says, you've been a huge pillar of strength for the past 18 to 24 months. And again, guys, we've been in this bear market for, depending on how what you consider a bear market, at least, 18, 19 months at this point. So this is awesome. The longer we go, the more bullish I become. And so, just have to keep that in mind. This is investing. This is not get rich quick. Again, this is entertainment purposes only. Please always do your own research. So as we can see here, it's insane to see Ripple regarding the private company, not the digital asset XRP, in documents from trillion-dollar banks. And Bank of America isn't the only one. Of course, we've, got the news on that patent as well. We got Credit Agricole and MUFG, along with 44% of the world's top 50 banks. Don't sleep on XRP. And what I want to do is I want to go over a few of the big organizations that we've already confirmed ties with the private company Ripple, along with, R3, with Corda's open source blockchain platform that will settle with XRP. So right here, Mac Attack XRP on Twitter. Again, guys, this is not my price prediction by any means, but this is just something that he posted saying, easily exceeding $300 per token before end of year. But again, guys, we have a lot of work to do in terms of infrastructure regulation. We need all the gateways to be connected. And each business has their own needs, whether they are, in trade finance, bonds, derivatives market, simple, online electronic payments, remittance. There's so many things, money transfer services. So everything's different. Of course, we have different corridors, different fiat that we have to consider. But really quick, let's just kind of go over these. So first off, we got the World Bank. And again, we've already confirmed all the ties with these throughout the entire XRP community. You can go look, each little tie here and just type it in, Ripple XRP and maybe the name of this organization. You can get some basic news. Even a simple Google search will suffice. Excuse me. Gotta clear my throat. But all right. So right here, we got World Bank, of course. The World Bank's an international FI, financial institution that provides interest-free loans, grants to government of, poorer countries for the purpose of, going after capital projects. We got the IMF, of course, Christine Lagarde, the director, the CEO of the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. They are a huge international organization based out of DC, consisting of 189 countries, working to foster global monetary cooperation, of course, financial stability, facilitate international trade, of course, promote high employment, help the world's economies grow, and reduce poverty around the world. So they are huge, very influential, especially with the World Bank and, other groups. We got ECB, which is a monster. It's the European Central Bank. And this is the central bank of the euro. It administers monetary policy within the Eurozone, 19 member states of the EU. It's one of the largest monetary areas in the world. And again, they are arguably one of the world's most important central banks and it serves as one of the 7 institutions of the European Union. And, it's all owned. They have stock that's owned by about 28 central banks as well, and roughly $590 trillion US dollars in reserve capital as well. All right. We got MoneyGram. We know they are the world's second largest provider of money transfers. More than 200 countries, global network, big deal. Ripple recently just did a strategic partnership, acquiring some equity in the company, and they have a 2-year production going on, and they'll be utilizing XRP, and they have confirmed this. We just don't know when. We got RIA. They're a money transfer group. It's a subsidiary of Euronet, and they specialize in money remittance. They go through, various networks and company-owned stores as well in North America, Latin America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and online. So they are big. Of course, we know SBI. Excited to see, hopefully some good news comes out of SBI VC going live. Now that users will be able to interact with each other, and we'll have some high net worth individuals utilizing XRP. And again, this is still a high spec market. We are waiting on more utility instead of all of these micropayments. But SBI Holdings, SBI Group, however you want to say it, it's an acronym that stands for Strategic Business Innovator Group, based out of Tokyo. It's a financial services company, and last year's revenue alone in 2018 was roughly $7.6 billion, and they are a huge banking consortium, roughly 60% of all banks in Japan. All right, we got Tata, or TATA. better known as TSC. It is Tata Consultancy Services Limited, or TSC, and it's an Indian multinational IT firm, service and consulting group based out of Mumbai. Mumbai's in India, by the way, and they operate in 149 locations, 45 countries, and in 2017, it was actually ranked 10th of the Fortune India 500 list. And TCS actually became the first Indian IT company to breach 100 billion market cap, which is huge. Next, we got SAP, and that's an acronym. You could just say it's Systems, Application, and Products and Data Processing. They are a huge German multinational software corp that makes enterprise software to manage business operations and customer relationships, based out of Germany in 180 countries, over 400,000 customers, and along with that, their total assets is roughly $58 billion, according to 2018. Next, we got Temenos or Temenos, however you want to pronounce it. And they are a company specializing in enterprise software for banks and FI, or financial services, excuse me. I'm so used to saying that. And they're based out of Geneva, Switzerland. And in terms of revenue, they're not some huge monster, but they do have a lot of connections and about $850 million in annual revenue. Next, we got the Fed, the Federal Reserve System, also known as just the Federal Reserve or the Fed. And they are the central banking system of the United States. Big guys. And then this is probably my favorite, the biggest one right here, and I've talked about this a million times. The DTCC, they are the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. It is a huge financial services company providing clearing and settlement, keyword settlement, hopefully with XRP in the future, services to all the financial markets of the world. They essentially perform exchanges of securities for buyers and sellers. They function as like a central securities depository by providing central custody of all securities. In 2011 alone, the vast majority of the securities transactions were in the US, and close to $1.7 quadrillion in value worldwide, making it, without a doubt, the highest financial value processor in the world. And they have a Ripple in all of their documents, the private company, working hand in hand. You look on, honestly, you can go through just LinkedIn and just be amazed at the connections that we have. And there's no other digital assets that have this. They're not, nearly as established. Next, we got the NACHA. I'm just going to refer to it as NACHA. And essentially, they're referred to as National Automated Clearinghouse Association. And they create broadly adopted payment and financial messaging rules and standards, and they're administrator of the ACH network, which annually moves tens of billions of electronic payments and trillions of dollars in debits and credits, whether that's bill payments, direct deposits, etc. So they're big as well. We got Accenture, and they are a multinational professional services company, big Fortune Global 500 company, incorporated in Dublin, Ireland since 2009. And as of 2018, their net revenue was just about $40 billion, well over 400,000 employees, serving clients in over 200 cities, 120 countries, and growing. And then lastly, we got Aci Worldwide. And they're headquartered in Florida. They develop a broad line of software focused on helping real-time electronic payments. Their products are already used globally by banks, financial intermediaries, third-party guys, electronic payment processors, different, transfer services, switch interchanges, merchants, corps, you name it. They also, will use and work with endpoints like ATMs and point-of-sale terminals. So huge. Again, they're well over $1 billion. I believe it's around like $2 billion in assets. So I just, obviously I can't go through all the connections with Ripple alone right now, but if you just want to do some quick searches on all of these, you'll be able to pull some documents up quickly, or just look at my past videos. I know a lot of other XRP YouTubers cover this in great detail, but I just wanted to give a summary of what these groups are, because there's not a lot of clarification. All right, let's get to the next one. Right here, too, I found this interesting on Investopedia, the 10 biggest banks in the world. So let's just kind of go see what we recognize. Of course, we see HSBC. I've done plenty of videos on them. JP Morgan, of course, Mitsubishi. These guys are huge. Bank of America, great news recently. And then Credit Agricole Group. So, look at this. Almost $2 trillion in assets. And of course, they need settlement. They have huge pre-funded accounts, Nostro and Vostro accounts in different countries, and this is the problem that we're trying to solve. I know Swift claims that they have 13-second transfers, but in terms it's really just messaging. It still doesn't solve this problem that XRP is targeting to release that dormant capital. And so they, in my opinion, pose no threat, but I do have some confirmation bias. So I guess we'll see what happens. Because if it was guaranteed, there wouldn't be any risk and there's no money to make. And I am essentially betting that XRP succeeds. So please do your own research. And again, it's a risk. All right. And then this is very cool. We have another Riddler. Put your tinfoil hat on, guys. Take it how you want. This was shared by Easy or ERST69, pretty well-known member in the XRP community. And again, you got a screenshot of it before it disappeared, and I did see this. So this guy with this Twitter handle Yo-Yo said goodbye everybody, and he was predicting a very high price for XRP in the near future. He believes it was going to be pegged to gold and be roughly like $1,400 per token per XRP in the future when we lock in the price, which would be insane. And again, that's crazy hype, so please just don't go buy something based on what some Riddler says. But again, he says this, and we'll see if this comes into fruition. The GPI is programmed as a gateway to use third-party software to enable instant settlement as an option. SPIVC. So virtual currencies. We got SWIFT, central banks, IMF, which I discussed, Apple, Amazon, Google. Please be careful. May all your wishes come true. Yo-yo. Take it how you want, guys. I'm very curious what will happen with this. And I guess it'd be great if we could look back in a few years and just smile at this moment. All right, next, Matthew Linney, R3 XRP bridging the insurance market. And again, he just wanted to show this. It's an older article, but it does show the scope of the XRP ecosystem regarding insurance as well. And R3 is going to be targeting healthcare, supply chain management. I read somewhere biotechnology as well. Almost everything outside of the remittance market, which Ripple is going to aim to target and get as much market share as possible. So as you see here, R3's core and insurance. And we see some recognizable names. We've got some big groups here. And just want to show their connections globally, their global footprint. All right. And then lastly, we're going to finish off here. So XRPist. And now keep in mind, guys, this is not what I'm saying. This is just one person's opinion, but I wanted to share it to help us, jumpstart some different ideas as well. So the population of Japan, 128 million people. Let's just say, and this is still a high amount, let's say 10% goes to crypto. So almost 13 million, 12.8 million. Now let's say 10% of that goes to XRP and purchases XRP. That's 1.28 million. 10% of that goes full XRP. And I'm not necessarily sure what that means or how much capital for this example we're saying. I guess, max limit for one guy is set 70,000 XRP for this example. And I believe that's based off the SPIVC exchange. So then 128,000 people times the 70,000 XRP max limit, supposedly. I'll have to double check the 70,000. I thought you needed a minimum of that. And right there, that's around 9 billion XRP sold at the first day SPIVC goes live. Just simple math, just one country. I know some other people made some good points. Again, it's not the only exchange. There's already on-ramps for XRP. But the cool thing is, and again, what Michael even says, with bank custody requirements, this is a little different, and that's far superior to any existing exchanges, especially when these institutional players get on board. And I just want to show you this because this is a great point. I'm happy he shares this because it shows you that, 10% of one country can make this big of a difference in the circulating supply of XRP, especially if this amount not even is traded, but just simply held. It's going to reduce that supply dramatically, increasing the demand, hence increasing the price. All right, so when real institutions get involved, they'll have way more purchasing power than just some everyday average Joe, and much more than just the mere retail investor. So guys, I just want to bounce some ideas with you. Let me know down below. I know there's a lot of people that are way smarter than me. Tell me if this is, complete crap, or if it does help you kind of consider some other countries and other power players that are going to be getting involved in this game shortly. BACT is on the way. We have a lot of exciting things with the Bitcoin futures and everything. Whether Bitcoin goes first is fine. It's going to propel this market forward, and I guarantee that these altcoins will eventually decouple from Bitcoin because they're newer technology, but they do not have that brand name yet. It's a matter of time. So guys, with that, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.